Hey man, sorry about the delay on this. I haven't been able to get my screen recording software to record the audio of my audio interface. So, um, we're just gonna start out with vocal basics real quick. Very important thing to do on all of your vocal tracks is this low cut right here. Um, what I noticed in a lot of your songs is the low end sounds really muddy. By that I mean there's like a lot of sound down here, and it's not very clear on what's going on. And what's happening is all these low frequencies from all your vocals are just sitting down here. You see this? So you don't need any of this stuff. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna bring this probably to about 80 hertz. 85 is pretty good. And then the next important thing to do, let's just make sure we're listening to this, is you want to find these things I like to call problem signals. Uh, and this is the start of the process I was telling you about, the reductive equalizing. Essentially, this is an equalizer. If you didn't know, hopefully I'm not insulting your intelligence, but if you didn't, that's what this is. So this is a little counterintuitive because, you want to reduce the EQ, but you want to know what you need to reduce first. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a bell curve. You can see this is a bell curve right here. And this is called a low cut. You can see that down here, right? And you can, so that decibel per octave, each thing here is an octave. And then 1 decibel is 1 decibel of deduction in gain. So what you're doing with an EQ is you're adding more power to the signal you're boosting, and you're reducing the power from the signal you're boosting when you decrease it, right? Well, the best way to get a clean sound is actually to reduce the sounds you don't want. You want to add as little as possible in this phase. So after that long preamble, hopefully you're up to date on what we're doing here, or why we're doing what we're doing. So so I doubt this is going to come out well over the mic. But what I'm looking for here is I'm looking for essentially signals that are like hissing or wheezing that just hurt the ear. And then this is very, very important with vocals. All of your changes need to be super slight. Any big changes to vocals in an EQ, your ear will be able to hear it. So I typically will go somewhere around here. I've just gotten very used to working with my voice. Coming the closest, my mind's telling me right, but my heart's up in the moment, feeling free for a second. I wish you never showed up, keeping it to my crib, stay inside of my bubble, existing got me spent. All right, so I'm pretty satisfied with that. And then what I'm going to do up here, because this is my low vocal, right? I'm going to add a high cut. So the same thing we did over here. I'm going to bring it up around here. And I don't know. I typically like to start mine somewhere around 12K, 12K hertz, 12,000 hertz. So I think this will do it. Let's listen to this again. Sorry, it's raining really hard out. Pretty worthless. Here, coming the skeleton, falling through the dark. All right, so we've done that part. It's the same process on your other vocals. Like on this, I've just done a low shelf. And this was this begins the second part of what I was telling you about. So this track right here, low throughout, I'm going to click on this. I don't know how to do this on FL Studio, but I'm going to route it to this bus channel called main Vox. So what this does is before this output comes out of the main channel, my master channel, it's going to be going through this channel right here, the main Vox. And this is where I have my reverb, and this is where I have my filters, and this is where I have my final EQ. And as you can see, this is a very light EQ, pretty reminiscent of what we did on over here. You can see all reductive except for this boost right here. I'll probably bring that down too, but I'm going to add a little bit of gain right here, and I'm actually also going to include a compressor. And what that's going to do is that's going to bring the quietest parts of the sound up, and the loudest part up in volume, and the loudest parts down in volume. I personally like to use the LA to, or the sorry, it's called the, what's it called on here? The CLA 2A. I also do all of my vocal mixings pretty much in mono. Typically you want to do bus stuff in a stereo though. So this right here, this is called a bus channel or an FX channel. And sort of for you to get an idea of, you know, how these work. So I have this channel right here, which would be this right here. I have this routed through my main vocal FX channel. And then you can look up here and you can see this is going through my fuck S channel. If you didn't know, fuck is a swear word in English. I don't know how good of English you speak. I'm sorry if I'm insulting you. But the fuck S, what that's doing is that's removing the S's, right? That's my de-esser. And that's how you get rid of that nasty sibilance sound that comes from S's and T's. Smoke filling the... All right, whatever the fuck distortion I have going on there is disgusting. I'm sorry about that. Lungs brimming with... Where the fuck is that coming from? Well, that's fucked. Puffin' with the reason, ain't no team is taking this far. I'm stressed out with no reason. My heart's missing some parts. My whole day looking like a smoke break. Rolling one for your sake. Burning blunts to feel sick. So with the compressor, what you're trying to look for is about 3 decibels of gain reduction at your peaks, right? So I'm going to reduce the gain, and then I'm going to take down the peak reduction. Smoking with the purpose. Or sorry, turn it up. My bad. Here coming the skeleton, falling through the dark. Smoke filling the cabin. And then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up my equalizer. What the fuck is this? tons, brimming with talk, puffing with the reason. My team is taking this far. I'm stressed out with no reason. My heart's missing some parts. My whole day looking like a smoke break. Rolling one for your sake. Burning blunts that feel safe. All right. The final step is the reverb. Okay. So I use Valhalla verb. And you can find that in the main Vox FX. All right. So really, this should be at 100. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to turn this all the way down. I don't want to hear any of the reverb. Keep it up to see me. I don't see it come up anyway. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to slowly increase the gain on this until I can start to hear the reverb. Just barely. All right, just barely. Now I'm doing this through headphones, so give me a second because I want to get this right. All right, I think I got it. Just got to switch this back. Existing got me spit. I can't even trust my shadow. Keeping it with my clique. I ain't fucking with. Now, you see how much peak reduction is happening right here? This isn't right. These shallows, I just need a break. She's plaguing my mind like cancer, and my heart is lace here. So now we go into the low ending, and this is going to be hopefully an idea for you on how to combine low vocals with high vocals. So we're going to start out with the high stuff, right? Broken is scattered, imploded. Instead, I sit here with visions of who I was. Leave me here for my eternal rest. My body frozen, taking my fear. Presumptions blossom. All right, so we got that. What we're going to do is we're going to add the lows to that. Break! She's plaguing my... That's more highs. Sorry about that. We want this. Get my mind like cancer, and my heart is lace here. Broken is scattered, imploded. My mind is set. I sit here. So what I did there is I had this tone, and I have this tone, and then I put them together, and that's how you get those two sounds at once. And I can't really, like, you can't tell someone how to make those sounds, and how to get used to making those sounds. You just have to get used to it. But I have full confidence you'll be able to get through that. And with your reverb as well, the last thing I got for you is where is it? It's right here. The last thing I got for you is you need your decay to be a lot quicker. Because that reverb you have, it goes on too long, and it really it muddies up what you're saying, and it just sort of dreads on. So like If I crank this up all the way.
With visions of what it was, leave me here from my eternal rest.
So you see how long that's going on. It gets to be a little too much. I like to do my decay typically at 3/4 of a beat. I have this tool right here to calculate time on it. So we have a 106.3 tempo. Sorry. And then it's a 4/4 time signature. So if we want to get funky with it, what we could do is we could do 1.69 on here. Oh. Do not wish to exit. That's what I wanted. So if we change this to 1.69, it should last 3 beats perfectly.
With these shadows, I just need a break. She's plaguing my mind like cancer. My heart and legs here, broken and scattered, imploded. My mind is sick. I sit here with visions of what it was. Leave me here for my eternal frozen.
That's odd. There should be something coming from this channel, but there's not. All right. Let me know if you have any more questions. Yeah. All right. Peace, dude.